you know, your pastor, you don't worship your pastor,
Yes.
but you revere him.
Yes.
Now, for the Asians, they don't worship cows because
Yes.
how he explained to me, especially like the Maasais, they are parts of the animals.
Yes.
When you are pregnant, those days you not eat because they don't want the child to grow big.
Yes.
But for Indians, they eat a lot of starch.
Yes.
So the kids become big, and during birth, most of the mothers die. So where they get milk to feed the child is from a cow. So they equate a cow to a mother. They are very rich guys who are Christians, who are Muslims.
Yes.
In fact, the richest people in the world are religious people. For the registrar to register a ministry,
Yes.
you need some referees.
Yes.
So that pastors from other churches
Yes.
can now be able to refer you to refer you.
What are the signs?
This is how
Give us some signs.
This is how you realize
Yes.
that your pastor is becoming cultic. He's the only one who preaches on Sundays. Only one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another fantastic show. This is Katikati show, and I am Eltazi, and I'm here with my co-host, Sanjojes.
Yes.
Hey, my good friend. Today you look like you are in that mood. You are in that mood, definitely.
Which one?
That mood. You know that mood. That crazy mood.
I'm always in good mood.
Sanjojes.
Yeah.
How's things?
Things are good.
Things are good. How is the country? How do you
I
feel?
thank
How is
God.
the mood in the country?
People are happy.
Yes.
Personally, I'm happy.
Yes.
People are happy. It's raining.
Yes.
So we are happy.
Finally.
We are happy.
Finally. And actually, I think that the El Nino, yes, it has caused its damages, but it has not been. It's not that violent. That too violent of an El Nino.
I don't think it's. I can't call it El Nino. I'll call it good rains.
Yes.
Yes. It's only that. As I said the other day, most of the time when it rains, the erosion is very high.
Yes.
So the water carries a lot of soil.
Yes.
And that's what is causing floods.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Georges,
Yes.
Christmas is coming up. And it looks like it's going to be a good Christmas.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we still have time for that. So I know people are really rushing around trying to close the end of year deals because, Christmas is about people who have money. Like you, Mobabas. you want to spend a lot of money this Christmas and just enjoy the
No,
family.
Christmas is not for spending. Christmas is for showing love.
Yes.
Supporting people who are, it's love. It's all
Yes.
about love.
Yes, yes.
Because what is Christmas?
Yes.
It's celebration of the birth of Christ.
Yes.
We celebrate the birth of Christ.
Yes.
And why did Jesus Christ come? It's because he came to redeem mankind.
Yes.
So Bible starts by saying, "For God so loved the world." So it's about love.
Yes.
Christmas is not about eating. It's not
Yes.
about celebrating.
Yes.
It's not about spending money.
Yes.
It's about supporting families. Supporting individuals.
St. George's, there's something that you've said.
Yes.
That Jesus came to redeem mankind.
Yes.
It has just reminded me. There is a video that I saw just a couple of days ago.
Yes.
There's an Indian male man who looks like, I don't know what they call them, guru or something like that.
Yes.
But it seems like people are, worshipping him, idolizing that man. He steps on the ground, they sweep the ground, they're pouring flowers on the ground because of this man. It seems like, to some point, they believe that this man can surely, change their lives, make it better. It's like like a god, a deity, some kind of a deity to them. What happened, Georgie? What happened to the human setup that we have come to this point that we look at other humans, fellow humans, and idolize them, raise them to these situations or this point they are like our gods?
Now, you see, it's very hard sometimes to understand somebody's culture.
Yes.
And culture is everything. Somebody who has no culture is not a human being, because we are raised in a community, in a family. And it's very hard, it's very easy to criticize.
Like me.
Yes. Like the way you are doing it now,
Yes.
it's easy, but you are not criticizing, you are questioning, you are trying to inquire. And that's what I want to bring to you. I want to bring to your attention that this is not idol worship.
Yes.
It is a culture.
Yes.
And that is what binds that community together.
Yes.
Now in India, they have many gods. They don't believe in one God. Yes. They believe in many gods. So to them...
Have you just said they don't believe in Mungu God? How about we skip this?
One God. Yes. I said
Mungu God.
Mono.
So
I said mono.
They don't believe in Mungu. Mungu is one God.
Sometimes you finish me, man. Now, they don't believe in one God. Most of them.
Yes.
What they do, like for example, for a long time, I used to know that Asians, Indians, worship animals, worship cows.
Yes.
But then I went and inquired, because I have been trying to understand what is culture and why do people behave the way they behave. So I went to somebody, a friend of mine. We used to work together in Anyoki. Went to India and brought me, because he knew I was a Christian.
Yes.
And a born again Christian for that matter. He brought me a portrait of Mary. And very beautiful Mary. A molding,
Yes.
very beautiful. And he told me he bought it for Kenya shillings, 100 Kenya shillings. And that was 1998.
Yes.
So that was a full, it's a devotion. Somebody was decided to give you a good gift.
Yes.
Because he knew who I am. And so I told him, you know me, I don't believe in idol worship. But I appreciated this gift. I took it, in fact, and I went and gifted to a Catholic, because Catholics the value such things. So and what happened is I asked him, by the way, I am told you guys worship cows. So he was able to make me understand why they revere, they revere cows. They don't worship cows.
Yes.
They don't, but they revere them.
Yes.
It's like the way you cannot say, like now, for example, you are a Christian, I know. You have a pastor, you have a reverend called Kim.
Yes.
And you really revere him.
Yes.
You honor him.
Yes.
You go and when you get your salary, you take some percentage to him. Do you worship him?
No.
You see now, if somebody else is from outside,
but George,
wait first.
That is a human at least. You are.
Wait first. There is something. There is something I want. I'm taking it from. I'm doing an angle.
Yes.
A roundabout, so that you can understand this thing. Now, your pastor. You don't worship your pastor.
Yes.
But you revere him.
Yes.
Now, for the Asians, they don't worship cows, because how he explained to me. You see, in India, there is a lot of what do you call it? When a mother is giving birth, most of them die.
Yes.
Yes. The death rate is very high during birth.
Yes. Yes.
I think they have a lot of
yes.
What can I call it? It's the communities there. Some of them are very poor, and they eat a lot of rice. So they grow fat.
Yes.
Unlike our culture, especially like the Maasais. The Maasais, they are parts of the animals.
Yes.
When you are pregnant, those days you not eat because they don't want the child to grow big.
Yes.
But for Indians, they eat a lot of starch.
Yes.
So the kids become big, and during birth, most of the mothers die. So where they get milk to feed the child is from a cow. So they equate a cow to a mother.
Wow.
You
That's
understand?
what, yes.
Yes.
now I get it.
So it's not that they worship cows,
Yes.
but they revere them.
Yes.
They honor them. They
Yes.
revere them. So they cannot slaughter a cow. This
Yes.
is a mother.
Yes.
You cannot kill your mother.
Yes.
You understand?
But Sir
So-
George, let's go slow.
Yes.
Now, what is worship?
Worship.
What is the act of worship?
The act of worship
Yes.
is taking a being
Yes.
to be superior,
Yes.
to be higher
Yes.
in authority
Yes.
than you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
If you take a deity, it's called
Yes.
a deity.
Yes.
Deity.
Yes.
So this one is
No.
greater.
I think that is a principle of worship. But
No.
the act of worship, what I mean by the act of worship, is how you do it.
No, you see, worship, when you say you are worshiping somebody,
Yes.
it means you're taking that person to another level.
Yes.
You're taking that object or
Yes.
that animal
Yes.
to another level.
Yes.
It's higher than you.
Yes.
It's able to create you.
But do they, for me, the act of worship? I've
Now,
heard
act
what you
of-
say.
when
But
act
for
of
me, Sir
worship,
George, for
yes.
me, to worship God, I will, pray towards God.
Yes.
I will kneel towards God, and I will probably, bow down towards God.
Yes.
So when they have the cow there, or you have the like Mary, do they bow to it? That act of worship is what I'm
No, you
I'm looking at.
see, what do you do to your mother? Eltezi,
Yes.
you have a mother.
Yes.
Is your mother alive?
Yes.
Thank God your mother is alive.
Yes.
Mine passed on when many years back.
Yes.
Now, if you have a mother, you know what I mean by honoring your mother.
Yes.
Now, what can you do to your mother? What can you do to your mother? You can do everything.
Yes.
Even if you see her, how do you greet her?
Yes.
Maybe you hug her. Maybe you kneel down.
Yes.
You see, so that's why I'm saying when you are an outsider, it's very hard to understand
Yes.
what this other person is doing. So you will see this one is a devil worshipper.
Yes.
This one is an idol worshipper.
Yes.
You can do whatever, you can call them all the names you have.
Yes.
But that is not the truth.
Yes.
You need now to be able to get into the mind of this other person, like I did with this Asian person.
Yes. But don't you
And he
think
was able to explain to me, and I was able to understand why these people will never slaughter a cow. Because a cow to them is a second mother. It's second to the mother. If your mother dies, you are fed by a cow. So why do you slaughter that which has fed you?
All right. Now, how about this thing? How about the kind of situation that I'm talking about is you find in some cases the pastors,
Yes.
they are put at a point that the congregants are almost like worshiping these pastors and these prophets.
No, that's why I'm saying it's very easy. The easiest thing in life, easiest thing in life is
Yes.
to criticize.
Yes.
And that is what most of us are left with, just to criticize.
Yes.
So when you're looking from outside, you will never understand
Yes.
until you get into that
Yes.
family. Within that family, there is the rules they have set, and that's what brings them together. Now, what brings in a church together, a congregation together, is their pastor. So, but now when they go overboard,
Yes.
because some of them will go overboard,
Yes.
maybe some of them will get cultic, then that is where there is a problem, when a problem begins. But as long as it's very easy for you to look at them and say, these guys are worshipping this man, but it may not be the case. Yeah.
Now, George, we are at that point.
Yes.
Thank you for coming exactly where I wanted you to be. Because we are at the point that they have now become occultic. What is pushing, most Kenyans in this situation, like the Shaka Hall incidents?
Yes.
That was almost like they were idolizing him because if anything he could say, they would do it. What is pushing us? And that is the same situation in some churches, not on him. As we have seen to what the government has done, some churches also have been shut down because of the same situation. What is happening to the family setup? What is happening to the culture of the African man, especially because they even say that religion is strong in Africa because of our financial situation. What has happened?
No, what happened?
Why are most people like this?
It's not about the financial situation. They are very rich guys who are Christians, who are Muslims.
Yes.
In fact, the richest people in the world are religious people. You want me to repeat that? The richest men in the world are religious people. Maybe once they become rich, sometimes they tend to, disregard their religion, the faith they had. But you see, when you are when you are religious, when you understand who is God, that honor that you give to God is able to make you a rich person. Now, so what is happening with the church today, as you said, the Shakaora issue and many other places, you see, in a community, in a society, they are married men. And somebody can start a good person and by and by becomes mentally unstable.
Yes.
And the members may not be able to understand or to see when people are becoming, when their leader is becoming unstable mentally.
Yes.
And then they start inhibiting now characters that are not spiritual, that are not godly.
Yes.
But very few now, because already the members have trusted this man for a long time, very few will question it. And that's why, and Jesus knew about it, and he said, test them by their fruits. By their action.
Yes.
So you'll know them by their fruits.
Yes.
So if you are a member in a church and you realize that the pastor or the leader is becoming, you are not able to understand the way the leader is doing things, then you need to start questioning.
Yes.
And as a Christian, as a Muslim, whichever community the region you come from, you are not a blind person.
Yes.
That's why there is a book that is like the Bible, like the Quran, that is supposed to give you guidance.
Yes.
So you're supposed to start questioning things
when
you see it's getting out of the laws in the Bible or in the Quran.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Sir Georges, but what is making people get into that kind of that mode of desperation? Because it always seems like people are desperate for something, desperate for a sign, desperate for hope, desperate for their lives to change instantly or even gradually. What is pushing people to such situations, pushing people to such churches and religious institutions?
Now, in the Bible says a fool says in his heart there is no God. Then there is another philosopher who said a fool cannot reach to such a conclusion without contradicting himself.
Yes.
You have heard what I've said. A fool cannot reach to a conclusion that there is no God without that fool contradicting himself.
Yes.
So in us, there is some vacuum.
Yes.
There is something that we need to fill, a vacuum in us.
Yes.
Because you are born,
yes,
you grow up, as you start accumulating wealth and other thing, time comes and you realize you're about to die. So there is that fear, that feeling that you are about to die.
Yes.
Your life is coming to an end.
Yes.
So that is why men always want to fill that void in them.
Yes.
Now, if you fill it with the wrong thing, then there is a problem.
Yes.
Now, that is why you find maybe a leader, a spiritual leader.
Yes.
Sometimes he does things and if comes to the end of himself, and now he starts start behaving funny because he has not been able to discover who he is.
Yes.
You understand? So maybe the members become more mature than him.
Yes.
And he now want to show them he's more mature than them.
Yes.
So he starts now becoming problematic, start now creating some scenarios.
Yes.
That is all what that's how I can explain it.
Yes. Yes. So Georges, and do you think that by regulating the religious space, it could at least mitigate this situation.
No, I think what we need
Yes.
is for the pastors, for the leaders, the leaders to regulate themselves.
Yes.
In that, for you to be a pastor, to be maybe the government, what the government can do is to make sure that they have for the ministry to register, for the registrar to register a ministry.
Yes.
You need some referees.
Yes.
So that pastors from other churches
Yes.
can now be able to refer you to refer you.
So what I'm trying to
In
understand,
other words,
we don't have churches that are just cropping up on their own. We have churches
because
that
you see
come
the problem we are having,
mother churches, etc.
the problem we are having
Yes.
is that whatever is born of fornication
Yes.
becomes a child of fornication. Yeah.
Yes.
In other words, if you have no father,
Yes.
what's your name? You are a child of fornication.
Yes.
You understand? So in the ministry, we have so many pastors who are children of fornication. That's a very strong word. Children who have no fathers.
Yes.
So if you have no father, you tend to father children of no father, because without a grandfather, you cannot be a father. A good father is the one who has been nurtured by the father and then nurtured by the grandfather.
Yes.
So if, for example, you have registered your ministry,
Yes.
you have no head. Nobody is above you.
Yes.
So eventually you will now start misbehaving. And that's why you're finding pastors are impregnating girls in the church. Because they have nobody who is supervising them.
Yes.
So I think we need to have a chain.
Yes.
Where you're guarding one another. Yes.
So and about their education cycle, the ministers of God, how they go through their education cycle. Do you think that we should make it they should have degrees before they start churches, certificates that will justify that they went through this cycle?
I think for where we are right now,
Yes.
we need I think if I were to say, if I were the one to make decisions, I would say that pastors, the leaders of ministries ought to be well educated, because without knowledge, then where are you taking people? You misinterpret the word of God.
Yes.
Because without good, proper education,
Yes.
then sometimes people tend to interpret the word.
So Georges,
Yes.
brilliant. The calling. What is the calling? Because I've had so many of my friends, even the same age as mine, they've told me, you know what, Altezi, I feel like but I have received the calling to be a minister of God. And most people, our viewers, might be wondering, what is this calling? How do you get to hear this calling? What is the voice of this calling? When does this calling come? How? To whom? What, according to Sir Georges, do you think is the calling?
I think when you receive a call from God,
Yes. So we start from there.
Yes.
The calling is from God.
the calling should be from God. Now, let me give you a story about one guy in
Yes.
the Bible called Samuel.
Like me.
Samuel like you.
Yes. Someone like me.
Samuel like you.
Yes.
Now, Samuel was born of a lady who was barren.
Yes.
And the mother dedicated the child to God.
Yes.
And he went to live with a high priest
Yes.
called Eli.
Yes.
Now, Eli was a good father, not a good father.
Yes.
Because his children and revolted against God.
Yes.
They would go and take the wine in the church and drink it.
Yes.
So God refused, said that they were cursed, you
Yes,
know.
yes.
And so Eli took Samuel like
Yes.
his son.
Yes.
And so one night when they were asleep,
Yes.
God makes a call. So
Yes.
that is where the calling starts.
Yes.
God says, calls the boy and says, he calls him and says, Eli? No, Samuel.
Yes.
And Samuel wakes up, goes to Eli, and says, you've called me. Eli tells you, my son, I have not called you. Go back to sleep. So again, God calls him. You see, this guy was not able to understand that God was calling the boy.
Yes.
So sometimes we see God has called me,
yes,
and we have not been called. We need to ask the leaders, the elders, those people who have received real call from God. Have you called me? Has God called me? You see, so these days somebody wakes up in the morning and says, I have been called. Called by who? So you have to know, you have to ask those who know. And that's why you need to have a father.
Yes.
That's why I call them children of fornication, because you have revolted from your father.
Yes.
For example, you have a church, you have a youth in the church, you nurture them to excellence, they become great people. Then one day somebody says, this guy is not preaching well, he stands and goes open a branch, a church. I mean, registers a ministry. You see, that is a child of revolt. So even when he raises the church, it will be a church of revolters. Even those that he's going to raise are going to revolt against them.
Yes.
So, called, yes, you've been called. But can you make sure you check?
Yes.
Now, I can give so many stories in the Bible.
Yes.
Where somebody goes, tells him,
yes,
it will be like this guy called, who was this? I can't remember the name, but he says, God, if it is you, I will put this cotton out here, and in the morning, let every other place be dry, only the cotton will have water.
Yes.
It was like so. Then the following day, he says, now this one should be dry. You see, he's double testing the calling.
Yes.
So it's good to double test
the calling. To understand.
To make sure that you're being called. Because if you don't receive a call, you call yourself.
Yes.
Most of these people have called themselves.
They call themselves. So
if you call yourself in the ministry, that is when you start saying, Tuma 310, Tuma 410. Because as a preacher, as somebody who has been called, you don't look for your flock to feed you. If you want to eat from the flock, I told you the other day, you can only shave their wool.
Yes.
Or get their ninyo. What else can you eat from a sheep? If you want to eat anything from a sheep, either you kill.
They kill it, yes.
You kill the sheep because the sheep does not produce milk.
Yes.
So if you want to, and you know the flock in the church, they are sheep, so don't expect anything from them.
Yes.
So expect from God, and that's where we are having a problem because most people have called themselves.
Yes.
They are looking for money from the flock.
Yes, someone just woke up in the morning.
You can only sell the farmyard manure. The manure from the condos, from the sheep. That is the only thing you can sell.
Yes.
Because some sheep don't even have wool.
Yes.
So your work is just to take care of the flock.
Yes.
You see, when Jesus was about to leave, he called Peter and said, Peter, here I am.
Yes.
Tender my flock.
Yes.
Jesus tells Peter, tender my flock.
Yes.
You know, tendering a flock is like tendering a garden.
Yes.
So if you tender a garden, what do you expect to eat from a garden?
Of course it will flourish.
You understand? To flourish.
Yes.
So that is what you're supposed to do to a flock.
And when they flourish,
you prosper.
You eat.
You prosper.
You eat.
Because that is your calling.
From the calling. An unsuspecting viewer would wonder, what are the signs that this is now becoming idol worship? This is now becoming occultic or cultic. What are the signs?
This is how
give us some signs.
This is how you realize
that
your pastor is becoming cultic. He's the only one who preaches on Sundays. Only one. I'm telling you, if you realize your pastor is the only one who feels that he's called, he will be a cultic.
Yes.
He will become.
No one else is standing on the pulpit.
No one else.
Too.
Yeye peke yake. The only one.
Yes.
Number two, if you realize that
Yes.
he is talking so much about him, money, him, his family.
Yes.
Run away. Number three, if you realize that he has no father.
Spiritual father.
Yes.
Yes.
He has no spiritual father. Run away. Very fast. Because the other thing you need to realize when a pastor is getting cultic, taste everything that he tells you with the Bible. He's getting out of the word of God, run away. And call the others to run with.
Yes.
Don't leave them.
Yes.
Yes.
So notice, what happens to our churches that drives the members into factions, especially when it comes to the leadership? Why don't we have, that decorum in some churches?
I said, leaders who have called themselves are out for money.
Yes.
They are out for riches.
Yes.
But those who have been called,
yes,
they are supposed to tender the flock.
Yes.
So these divisions in the church,
yes,
you find this church is trying to withdraw this other person. These guys are looking for leadership.
Yes.
Run away from such people.
Yes.
Yes.
Run away.
Run away. you know, by the way, there are things that Bible says.
Yes.
You run away from.
Yes.
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 There are things that you're supposed to run away from.
Yes.
And there are things that you're supposed to, turn away from.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So Georges, umesoma mambo ya kanisa kabisa. Wow, that was a good one. I know our viewers have gotten to grasp a lot from this good topic that we have shared. Guys, you can get to watch more of our episodes on planetgym.co.ke or just subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is Planet Gym, and you will get each and every episode with Sir Georges Nentezi. As usual, ni kijana na mbabas. And when mbabas is in the area, so most of the times as kijana, we have to get that wisdom. And today, George, you have shared, you've oozed. You have not shared. You have oozed.
Wisdom.
I know there are a lot of our viewers who have gotten to understand.
It's by the grace of God.
So that they don't get lost. Because, and in such times where, the government has really pushed the citizens, people are really, feeling the pinch of the economy. Most people tend to come and take advantage of unsuspecting Kenyans. And what you've just posed, I know will help most of them.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Now, life is full of seasons.
Yes.
Life is full of seasons. And we get into one season and we get out of it.
Yes.
And that's why there is time for being born.
Yes.
There is time for being baptized. There is time for, going to class 1.
Yes.
Seasons.
Yes.
So when life is at its lowest,
yes,
like now we can no longer go down.
Yes.
The only way to go is to come up.
You have reminded me of a friend of ours who asked, how low? I do not mention the name.
We are now at the lowest.
How low can we go, George?
This is the
how
lowest.
Low?
This is the
how
lowest
low can we go?
This is the lowest we can go.
Yes.
Now the only way to go out
it's
up.
It's up.
So we are now coming up.
So things are going to change.
Yes. Wait for us up there.
Yes.
We are coming up there.
Yes. And for people at home, Sir Georges, who are wondering, how do I, maybe they're already feeling they're in that space, they have joined that cultic space. They no longer have a hold of their lives. They cannot control how they are doing things. What do you have to say to them? How can they be able to redeem themselves from
One,
this situation?
test every spirit.
Yes.
Don't be a coward.
Yes.
Be a strong man and question things that are being done.
Yes.
Now, like me personally, if we raise money for the church to build a church, I will always guard that money until we do what we are supposed to do.
Yes.
Make sure if it was for building a church,
Yes.
it was building a toilet,
Yes.
we have to construct that
Yes.
toilet.
Yes.
But when I give my offering, I
Yes.
don't follow the offering.
Yes.
Now, if you realize that there is a problem in the church, be able to question.
Yes.
Talk to somebody else.
Yes.
Ask him what is happening with our pastor.
Yes.
Maybe your pastor requires your help. It's not like a pastor is a god. Sometimes they are suffering. They are passing through hell.
Yes.
And so you can also hold his hand and come up with him.
Yes.
Because don't let him sink.
Yes.
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 Sometimes they are sick.
Yes.
You can have somebody who is sick.
Yes.
And you keep on blaming that person, and he is sick.
Yes.
So it's good for us to be able to question.
Yes.
To be able to interrogate.
Yes.
Every step.
Yes.
Every situation.
Yes.
Yes.
Guys, as you've heard, Sir Georges has just said it, has put it clearly, that you do not have to let yourself get into that situation. Do not allow yourself to be driven into a hole while you can get out when you're still alive.
Yes.
Like what happened in Shakahola and the rest. So if you're seated there at home and you feel like your spiritual or your religious leaders are driving you into depression or any kind of situation, make sure that you stand strong and get out of there. Toka mbio.
And you know what?
Toka mbio. Run away.
You know what? Sometimes you're in a church.
Yes.
And you realize you're becoming now a cow in the church.
Yes.
For example. No.
How do you become a cow in the church?
No. You see,
I thought we are all sheep.
let me tell you. Let me. There is something I want to let you understand. Sometimes you could be in a church.
Yes.
And yes, God has blessed you with
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
And now all the focus turns to you.
Yes.
So you realize that now you're becoming, now you are not the one worshiping the pastor, it is the pastor worshiping you.
Because
You understand?
Yes.
So don't let your pastor get you into such a situation
Yes.
where now you are becoming the influencer
Yeah.
in the church. Because your pastor
Yes.
ought to be your leader.
Yes.
Your pastor ought to lead you.
Yes.
And so don't get into a situation.
Yes.
If you realize that you are attracting your pastor,
Yes.
your pastor
Talk about
cannot do anything without you, then you realize you're getting into the pastor's nerves
Yes.
because of what you have.
Yes.
So it's also good to try and step aside
Yes.
a bit.
Yes.
I'm not saying you run away,
Yes.
but try to show him that you are not the provider, because you are not the provider.
Yes.
You are not the provider. God is the provider.
Yes.
God is the provider of your pastor.
Hallelujah. Great people. That was a very, 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 very insightful episode right here on Katikati Show. I am El Tezi, and together with my co-host, Sir Georges. And for you to get more of these episodes, make sure that you turn on the notification bell, and you will get them soon as we upload them. You will be the first person to get them. And also get to Facebook and follow Planet Gym, get to Instagram and get to X. And do not forget, Planet Gym is where everything is green, and we are definitely powered by Gym Estates.
Yes.
Where we are always inspiring you guys to own a home. Christmas is coming, but even if Christmas comes, it's gonna pass. So make sure the money that you have, eat a little, spend a little,
Yes.
save a little, mostly invest a little.
Yes.
In Gym Estates. 50 by 100 plot, 1.2 million, 300 meters from the tarmac, Shamim Gardens. This is courtesy of Gym Estates in Kisaju. Eco stima, electricity, eco maji, everything is good there. Great people, amenities. I usually tell you that after Kitengela, Kisaju is the next big town. So great people, do not waste time, do not get left behind. Ensure that you come to Gym Estates. George, where is Gym Estates?
Gym Estate
Yes.
is based in Kitengela.
Yes.
It's located in Newton House.
Yes.
Deliverance Road.
Yes.
Off Kitengela Namanga Highway.
Yes.
4th floor, room number 405.
Meskia 405, that is Deliverance Road. And also you can get to social media and just look for Jimmy Says. We have very good projects for you guys. Have an exciting time. Sir Georges.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning.